Let's talk a little bit more about like Akihabari. You kind of just mentioned what it is, what you brought in there. How did you plan that business differently from Super Abari, and what are your plans going forward with Akihabari?
Sure. Obviously it's a whole different beast where an arcade bar, the arcade portion kind of pays for itself, and the alcohol is, of course, what actually brings in money. Um, with Aki, we had to be a little bit different. It's not manned. It's kind of like an arcade you would see, in any other place that was not traditionally an arcade, whether it's a movie theater or anything like that, but just more. I guess you would say that we've kind of churched it up a little bit. It's got kind of its own look and feel to it. We tried to make it look like an alleyway, and also an inside of a Japanese arcade. So it's a big set piece with a bunch of arcade games in it. Um, since it, of course, is not being backed by some other source of income, we've got basically a dollar per play. But since most of them are rhythm games, I think that's more than fair because you're getting, almost a 10 hour, or excuse me, 10 minute worth of game time for a dollar. But those are kind of the main differences between the bar. The bar, we're very, very, very cheap on our games, because we do have some sort of income coming from another source, whereas Aki is kind of just a standalone arcade, in this food hall. It to kind of keep that momentum, what we've been doing is really trying to focus mostly on our gashapons. We import them pretty much every month. I mean, I get tons and tons because they sell so fast. Um, and then with rhythm games and other kind of unique Japanese games, like we just got in a thing called Hammer Champs, which is kind of like mini games, but you're using a hammer, kind of like whack a mole, and just keeping the plush selection in our UFOs fresh and constantly rotated, with some really cool licensed plush, like Kirby or Pokemon or Sonic, whatever it might be. So that's kind of the main focus on that, is just give a more, as I'm not going to say it's completely authentic to a Japanese arcade, but to bring some stuff that you would see in a Japanese arcade, whether it's a Sega Taito arcade, in Akihabara, and that's kind of the idea behind it as a whole.